Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here on Watchbox Reviews. I'd really appreciate it, and then I'd be able to deliver my best to your inbox on a daily basis. Every watch, every minute here on Watchbox Reviews. And if you like our watches enough to buy them, they're all for sale on thewatchbox.com, the internet's largest single-source repository for late-model, pre-owned luxury and vintage timepieces, with high-res images, boxes, papers, and accessories as included, and of course, full pricing details for every watch we offer on thewatchbox.com. Today we're discussing the Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch Blue Side of the Moon. This was part of a 2017 launch of exceptionally opulent full blue case Omega sports watches. Now you might know the Big Blue Seamaster Planet Ocean. This watch is more wearable as it's thinner, smaller, and generally more versatile in its aesthetic. What it remains is big and ceramic. This is an opulent Omega. Let's talk about why. 44.25 millimeters across the round of the case. That doesn't include chronograph pushers or crown. It is a thick watch as it has a stack height of 17.5 millimeters above the wrist with the flare of that cantilevered ceramic tachymeter bezel. Consider this one sports jacket, cuffs, or loose sweaters only. Otherwise, this is not disappearing underneath any sleeve. Lug-to-lug, however, it's not a big blue bully. 49.5 millimeters means that a smaller male wrist, which I define as 14 to 16.5 centimeters circumference, can easily wear this watch. And you'll note my 16 centimeter circumference wrist really has no trouble wearing the watch. I do my best to give you guys a vantage point. I am behind the camera, so I can't be totally square to the lens, but that's the best I can show you. It's an easy watch to wear, and all in ceramic. It's light on the wrist. It's not heavy like metal is. The strap is a bit more opulent, that word again, than a standard appointment would be for a dark or white side of the moon. You'll note that this blue side of the moon, with a matte finished large rectangular scale alligator leather in matching navy blue with a monotone stitch folded edge, a little bit of bolstering to match the swell of the lugs, and on the underside, supple calfskin with a contrasting red stitch. Now it has a hybrid twin trigger released single folding clasp. It is ceramized titanium on the inside, blue ceramic double finished satin and polish on the outside. You do need to press both triggers. It can't accidentally pop open, so you have a measure of security. And because it has a minder system that tucks excess strap length under the clasp, once it's sized and strapped down, you'll note there are no minder loops to mar the lines of the strap, nor will there be any excess strap length flapping in the breeze. You'll note that the strap is richly appointed, not just with materials, but smart engineering, as there is a rubber gusset that is sewn into the strap to prevent the gouging of the holes for the pin buckle, and thus the premature aging of the strap. This has a good chance to be a 3 or 4 year strap on the wrist thanks to this refinement and the substance of the material used. Now, there's a little bit of constraint in the flexibility of the strap, so it flares a tiny bit, but it shouldn't be a problem. You saw how it fit on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, and I was quite happy with the way it sits. It's comfortable, it's nice and tidy, it doesn't overlap the edge of my wrist, and the flare, the stiffness of the strap is a compromise in no way, shape, or form. You'll also note that Omega does incredible things with ceramic, as it's the classic beveled Seamaster and Speedmaster case we've come to know over the years, but the satin finished sheer flank is still paired with a polished bevel, and the constraint of the satin and the polished aspect and the strong and distinct unblurred character lines between them, the sharpness of that transition is truly impressive, with both surfaces being executed using diamond finished tools and abrasives. The Tachymeter bezel. Let's get close now because we are done with the wrist shots, and let's give ourselves a bit more aperture and thus more light. The bezel is ceramic and polished blue, but there's a liquid metal inlay, so there's a special amorphous structure metal that is actually laid down into the ceramic. It's not simply silk screened on, it's actually part of the ceramic bezel. The liquid metal so named because it co-bonds with the ceramic and becomes permanently part of it. So these calibrations, these numerals and indices will never separate. The crystal is immense, box section domed and sapphire. The dial is polished zirconium oxide blue ceramic, as is the moon phase disc, which features its own liquid metal inlays to create the imagery of the cosmos. All of the indices, as well as the hands at center, are white gold. This is a richly appointed flagship piece from Omega. Nice balance. You have two special double registers. You have chronograph hours and minutes on a mono counter at 3 o'clock, and then you have a date system and constant seconds on the register at 9 o'clock. Now the quick set for the watch, see if I can demonstrate this, the quick set for the watch allows you to adjust the moon phase in one direction and the lunette style radial date indicator by turning in the other. So you don't have the time zone functionality of a standard 9300 or 9900, but you gain the ability to quick set the moon and the date. Now you will note there is a hacking seconds function when you pull the crown to extremity, so you can stop the watch and synchronize to a reference time. Fully loomed, this all ceramic and white gold garnished dial will have a loom shot at the end of the video, and you can note judicious use of red on the chronograph seconds tip for the first of the month, for the indicator, the lunette style radial date pointer, and the Speedmaster script at 12 o'clock. It is a gloss dial base in case you have any doubt about the texturing and coloration. Now you turn all over and you can see liquid metal inlaid into the crown itself. This is the caliber 9904 moon phase chronograph, automatic winding, twin mainspring barrels in series, 60-hour power reserve, bidirectional winding action, shock resistant. How shock resistant? Well, it's got a full balance bridge and a free-sprung index, Rolex-like architecture. You'll also note underneath that balance beating away features a silicon hairspring for amagnetic qualities. Underneath the skeletonized bridge you can see the column wheel, the function selector that allows crisp cycling of the start, stop, and reset of the chronograph. There's also a vertical clutch, so you can leave the chronograph running full-time with no additional wear or tear to the mechanism. If you prefer a large center seconds hand to go with hours and minutes rather than reading that small constant seconds, just leave the chronograph running. The other advantage of the vertical clutch system is when you start it, there's absolutely no jump or stagger to the chronograph seconds hand. That lateral clutch flaw has been exorcised. Now the timepiece features a coaxial chronometer status, but it goes beyond that. It uses the new METAS standard. METAS is a standard developed by Omega and the Swiss Federal Institute of Metrology, a government agency, so it's a test of the fully cased up watch, efficiency, power reserve, chronometric precision, as well as resistances to water and magnetism. So this is not just COSC standard, this is a master chronometer, surpassing those standards as it is a test of a fully cased up watch. And it features the George Daniels coaxial mechanism, so essentially a tangential contact multi-axis escape wheel with a set of pallet stones that are stacked on top of each other to match the coaxial multi-level escape surfaces. You have that coaxial set of escape wheels and pallets with very little friction. It operates unlubricated today for reduced maintenance requirements as well as improved long-term timing stability and short-term timing precision. This is a watch that's got it all going on, technically as well as mechanically. A watch that is essentially scratch-proof thanks to its ceramic composition. This is a watch that can shake off any blow that a sapphire crystal could shake off. So if you're not one to scratch, fracture, or shatter a sapphire crystal, you're going to find that a ceramic cased watch actually looks as good as new almost in perpetuity on your wrist. 50 meters water resistant means surface aquatic activity only and not on this strap, but there are better Omegas for getting wet and wild. This one is for those who have their heads in the clouds and their imagination sky high. A timepiece for those who love color, who love complication, who love innovation and character. This is the Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch, blue side of the moon. And we're back with the Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch, blue side of the moon phase chronograph. You can see this one by the light of day, big, beautiful, and blue on our website.